Good morning. So today I wanted to talk about I was listening to a sermon, and today I wanted to talk about something that most Christians don't share. And that is the extremely private moment where you are 100% helpless and God saves you. For some, it is bills and the death of a family member. But most of the time, and I'm not talking about the ones that are pastors. I'm not talking about the ones that rely on God's strength to talk about their past dealings so that you can relate to them. I'm talking about the average Christian who is just too shy to tell people just how helpless they are. They've got a story, sure. They've got stories that don't make them sound insane. But there's almost always a story in their lives that if they tell, they know that a person who's not a child of God won't understand. They just won't understand it. And that's what I want to share with you today. You know, the past couple of shorts and videos I've been talking about how we need to rely on God. I've never talked about why I so strongly believe in God and why I've almost always had a connection with God, even when I am doing my most sinful deeds. I've got a couple. Actually, no, I've got four. I've got four. Okay, let's start with the first one. Maybe I'll tell you the other three at another time. Maybe I'll tell you two, because the first one's kind of short. So, I'm in Decatur, Illinois. I'm with my dad and my stepmom, and this was back when people really didn't understand basically what it meant to go through a tornado. I am probably 5 or 6 years old. I had attended Baptist church a couple of times. I had not been saved. At this point, I had not been saved. Not a single freaking time. Because every time I went to Baptist church, I was more interested in messing with everybody than I was with, by the way, I would like to point out that God is giving me the strength to talk about this because my voice is out, and for some odd reason, I'm coming across clear. That's God's work. I will probably lose my voice again as soon as I'm done. Alright, so I'm used to messing with kids and adults in church. I was the rowdy child, the devious child, and the kleptomaniac all in one. I used to kick. We used to have Christmas carols in a giant gymnasium where every grade sang Christmas carols to their parents. And I used to be the kid that kicked whatever kid was in front of me while we were doing this because the parents could see it. And I would kick just hard enough to where they wouldn't wince in pain, but they would definitely not like me. So, I was not a good child. I was definitely, at that time, not saved because I wasn't going to church for God. I was going to church to mess with the other kids there. Eventually, I got kicked out of that church. But there was a weather event, and I was sitting down. I was on my knees underneath a mattress in the middle of a hallway because it was currently storming outside and we were under a tornado watch. And we were huddled, I was huddled underneath there because my dad had put me there. I wasn't there with my stepmother or my stepsister. My dad was keeping an eye on the tornado, and I was being kept, quote unquote, safe underneath this mattress. And let me tell you, a mattress versus a tornado, I think we all know who's going to win. So I'm terrified. At this point in time, I've watched Twister. I've watched several news channels about what happens whenever a tornado meets a house. And I hear my dad say that he can see the funnel. Like, at this point, it's a couple miles off, but I can see the funnel. And I'm terrified. And I don't know why I did it. I don't know what caused it. I just know that I began praying. I said, I know that I've been a horrible child. I know that I've done wrong. And I know that I disappointed God. And that I didn't deserve what I was asking for. I asked God because I was scared. I asked God if He could save me in that moment. I said that I fully believed in Jesus and that I hoped that God would give me His mercy, and that I was very sorry because I thought the tornado was my fault. It didn't make any sense at the time, but I thought the tornado was my fault. And I thought the tornado had been sent to punish my family and to take me away. And so I asked God to save me and give me comfort. I didn't even finish the prayer. I had no fear. Not a single ounce of it. All I felt was love. All I felt was love. That's the only... I stopped talking. I didn't even say amen. And I was told by my dad that the funnel had stopped forming right above our house. It was supposed to touch down at our house. Like every single thing had said that it was going to land on directly our house. The news was I believe it was featuring our house as the landing spot for the tornado. Maybe not our house, but definitely Nottingham Drive in Decatur, Illinois. And something rare happened, which was the funnel stopped forming. It stopped forming, and it moved miles away. and landed in an open field that didn't hurt anybody. Now, if a non-Christian heard that, they would think that's nuts. They would think that I was hallucinating, that I was connecting dots. But that's my story of how I became a Christian. And I hope that you guys have a God-blessed day. And that you non-believers eventually find the right path. Because I found mine a long time ago, and I've been thankful for God ever since. God bless.